Hey, Pastor Ray Barnett here with you. Glad that you could be with me here on the Oasis. And as always, I wish you a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on what time you're watching this broadcast. Another beautiful day here in upstate New York. And the humidity is finally going away up till now for the last week or so. Whatever you kind of put on just would kind of stick to you. But sun is shining, humidity has dropped. And down here by the Mohawk River again. And well, anyway, I'm glad that you're here with me. You know, I want to just share with you a couple of things today. Number one, I took some of my own advice, which most everything that I share with you on this broadcast is something that I have already practiced myself or trained myself in. So that, you know, when I share with you, I'm not just sharing theories, I'm sharing experience. And I took some time today to do what I had shared with you to do a couple of broadcasts back, which was just take a half an hour or so just to grieve over some things, some personal issues, as well as the state of our country. And right after that, I checked out the news and going through the news and seeing what's going on in our country and in our world. And honestly, it can bring just about anybody to a point of disgust and to anger and to I could say even dismay and well, I wouldn't say not for me discouragement, but a sense of dismay. It's pretty awful. But when I was sitting here meditating and just thinking, then I prayed, you know, God, you know, what could I have today to say to my friends who watch this broadcast faithfully that would help them? My thought is that, well, first of all, I produced this broadcast to kind of give you a break from the reality of life and the news and your home and your job and so many complex situations that are going on in our world. That's why we're here. That's why it's called the Oasis. And so I want to stick with that and to tell you a few things. But the first will be that, you know, you have to take care of yourself. You have to take care of your health, because without that, no matter what your ambition is for your family, for your children, for your country, your church, or whatever it may be, if you're not well, then you're not going to be any help at all. So I'm going to stick with, you know, this setting up of the Oasis as far as my attempt to provide for you a place where you can relax and learn something, be exhorted for just a few minutes, 15 or 20, whatever it takes. And so I repeat myself that if you don't take care of your own health, you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be any good to anybody. And what I mean by that specifically is that you can't let yourself go. At the end of yesterday's broadcast, I was giving you some words that God gave to Joshua in the very first chapter of the book of Joshua, that he was commanded to be strong and of good courage, that he wasn't permitted to allow himself to be discouraged or dismayed. And again, there's a lot in this world that can certainly be the cause of both discouragement, dismay, and so on. But you have to take care of yourself. For me, I've always desired to live my life that at the end of it, I would know that my life counted for something. But if I overwork or I try too hard at things and so forth, then I'm going to be unhealthy, I'm going to get sick, and I'm not going to be of any use to anyone. So it's very important, no matter what you're going through right now, no matter how much the news may be affecting you, the things in this world, your family, your job, etc. It's very important that you take care of yourself. It's very important that you keep your health. I exercise regularly, as most of you know. I have a very, very healthy diet, as some of you might know. And in this way, a nice breeze here. In this way, I can stay healthy enough to be a help to those that I love and those that I want to help as a pastor, and of course to all of you as well. So really it's just an exhortation to be very, very diligent to take care of yourself. Watch your diet, watch what you're eating. If you don't exercise, you should. Even if it's just something as simple as taking a walk, then do it. Do what you have to do to stay healthy. Do what you have to do to be strong. I don't know. Just today I set another personal best in one of the exercises that I do for strength. And I felt good about that. And why do I do it? Well, part of it is it's for my health. Part of it is just a hobby. Part of it is just to keep myself motivated, so that, again, I can be a help to people. You may not be as ambitious as I am when it comes to working out and to exercising, but it is a very good idea, if you're not doing something for exercise, that you should, along with your diet. How does this affect mental health? Well, it has a great effect on your mental health. Long walks. I told you a story, I think, once, of a man who called me up. He was obviously in a panic. And I told him, I said, I want you to hang up the phone. I want you to walk in one direction for as long as you can until you start to feel slightly tired. Just slightly tired. How long that would be, I wouldn't know. But, fairly long. And then when you start to feel slightly tired, turn around and come back. And the idea being, at the end of his walk, he would have burned off a lot of adrenaline and the cortisol and some of the stress hormones, and then we could actually talk. In that particular instance, he called me an hour or so later and still was very upset and very panicky. You could hear it in his voice. And I asked him, did you take the walk? He said, well, no, I didn't. Then he gave me all his excuses. I said, look, if you don't take the walk, then there's nothing for us to talk about. Now you say, well, why is that, Pastor? Well, first of all, I had dealt with him quite a bit already. And you can't really help somebody when they're in a panic mode. What I'm trying to help you to do in these broadcasts here is to offset or to prevent the panic and the depression and so on. So the main thought that I have for you today is that is very important for you to take care of yourself. I have shared with you before that probably the great majority of you are very conscientious people, duty-oriented and responsible people. We're trying to be responsible. But again, if you're sick and you're not healthy, your effect on other people is going to be minimized, if not taken out of the picture altogether. So you want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. And let me say this again, it's so easy to be distracted by everything that's going on all around us, in our families, in our churches, in our places of employment. By the way, that's just a little parenthetical statement here. I'm reading and hearing that unemployment is just a little under 6%, but everywhere I go, all the people who either work or own the place tell me that the reason they can't get things done is because there's not enough people working. They can't get workers. That goes from mechanics, lab technicians, restaurants, diners. And so I'm wondering, how in the world can we be down so low? That means 94% of the population is employed somehow, and yet everywhere I go, and I mean everywhere I go, including churches, you find that there's just not enough people to do the work. That's just an aside. But it's also a frustration that if I let that get to me, well, it's going to put me into more tension and anger and frustration. And then at the same time, my health is going to start to deteriorate, and I can't help people like you. So what I'm saying today, there's probably some of you that are so upset over what's going on in your life and in the world and so on, that you're starting to let your own health physical and mental, to slip. Once that happens, no matter how concerned you are about people you love or your country or your church, you're not going to be able to help them if you don't take care of yourself first. Just think about it from a logical point of view. If you are unhealthy and can't act, at a maximum level of efficiency because you're unhealthy, then all you wind up doing is just simply worrying and getting more aggravated and more frustrated. So that's my exhortation to you today, that no matter what is going on in the world, no matter what's going on in your world, it is like number one priority that you take care of yourself. And let me repeat myself too. There are plenty of you who are very duty-oriented, responsible people that have a lot of others that you have to take care of and things you have to do. Some of you have to provide, financially. Some of you have to take care of children. Some are doing both. And you cannot allow yourself to get sick. You just can't allow it. That means you're going to take some time off. That means you're going to take a break. That means you're going to do like I do and find out. I find these settings here, I come to these settings here for you to create a kind of a relaxed atmosphere, because quite frankly, you're not going to find a lot of it on the social media, and you're not going to find a lot of it in your newspapers and news reports, and even from people that you know. People are very, very stressed, and that's another observation that I'm making, that I'm hardly talking to anybody that's not stressed about life. So that should be somewhat of an encouragement and an enlightenment to you, that you're not the only one going through difficulties. I'm going through quite a few myself. But I do know, and I'm passing this on to you, that if I don't take care of myself, I'm going to be no good to my family. I'm not going to be any good to my wife. I'm not going to be any good to my church. I'm not going to be any good to anybody if I allow myself to get sick. So maybe I could say it this way. It should be like pretty obvious that those of you, and there's many of you that watch very faithfully. You watch every day. And no matter what is occupying your mind in the area of being stressed out and angry and frustrated and irritated and all of that, you must take care of yourself. Go take that walk, take that break. If you have a hobby, spend some time at it. Don't think that you're wasting your time at a distraction such as a hobby. I have a few little things. I like to have a few more few more irons in the fire as far as distractions go. But right now I've got enough, and I do these things faithfully to distract my mind from the things that are troubling me, so that I can stay healthy, so that I could be here for you, and then of course for others. So that's pretty much what I want to say to you today. It's not very educational as much as it's just an exhortation, which I told you before. I'm going to be spending more time exhorting you. So the 300 plus videos that we have going has a lot of the information that you need, so you just go back and watch them. These are turning more into exhortations. Do the work, do the training. Most of all, take care of yourself. Take care of your health, mental and physical. Because if you get sick, you're not going to be able to help anybody. So don't feel guilty that you took a little time, you took a nap, took some time off, went for the walk, whatever, because there's so much to do. And I know people like that. They tell me, oh, I wish I could do that, and I wish I could do this. And all they're ever doing is wearing themselves out. And it should be pretty obvious. You should be able to figure out that if you wear yourself out, you're not going to be able to help people. But some people don't seem to figure that out. I'm hoping that you have it figured out, or if you don't, figure it out. Take care of yourself. Make sure that you are taking care of both your mental and your physical health. Let me pray for you today. Father, help my friends to do that, to take care of themselves, overcome their anxieties and depressions, so they can be of a benefit to others, which I know many people who watch this channel, that's exactly what they want to do. So I pray that you would help them. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right, that's it for today. Just take care of yourself. Take care of your health. Take the time, do what you have to do. For those of you, again, we have a few new subscribers. Welcome. If you'd like to subscribe to this channel, there's a lot of information on this channel in the past videos that I did, and you could just spend some time, be time well spent by the way, in learning about anxiety, depression, and mental health issues. And so if you want to subscribe, just subscribe, hit the notification button. And as always, God willing, I will be with you here again tomorrow on the Oasis. And until that time comes, no matter what is going on in this world, let the peace of Christ be with you. God bless, and I hope I will see you here again tomorrow on the Oasis. God bless, and see you then.